How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we work together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and in this episode, we're going to talk about building that positive mindset so that you can move past the pain. If you are someone that's been hurt or struggled with low energy, in this episode, we're going to talk about how you can shift that so you can experience the love and light that you're meant to have in this life. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word. It can be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So I've been thinking about this message for a while. How do you heal? Like, how do we truly move past trauma, pain? How do we change frequencies in our life so that we can experience the life that we want? So I recorded this episode right before this, and I just couldn't get the message back. So we're going to try this again on a different way. So I really hope that this resonates with you. Everything breaks down to the frequency that we're operating in. If we want to change, we have to know what's possible. If you want to know what's possible, you have to work on your perspective. Perspective gives you the freedom from self. Meaning, when you're operating just within you, just in your experience, meaning everything around you, its value is based on how it affects you. If somebody is mean to you, they have low value. If somebody is nice to you, they have high value. If you are receiving something, it has high value. If you are losing something, it has low value. When we see the world like that, that frequency keeps us feeling the way that we're feeling. I don't want to say that it's good or bad, because everything in this life is happening for you. If that's the case, that cannot only be true on the good things. It cannot only be true when we decide to start changing. It cannot only be true when we discover it. It's always true. Everything is happening for you. But to understand how it happens for you, perspective is how you get there. When you can see a path to something being positive, you can connect to the positive energy. What you focus on expands. So if you are here to expand, to grow, when something happens to you, you can look at it and expand in your perspective to the point where you can find something good from it and turn that into something happening for you. So think about the things in your life. And maybe you don't know what's bringing you down. Maybe it's just an energy that you can't describe. Nothing specifically bad is happening. Maybe your life is actually good. That can be even harder when there is no reason to feel the way you feel. Whatever the case is, we have to shift our perspective. Gratitude is the path to positive perspective. You see, the limited version of gratitude is saying, I'm so thankful for my car. I'm so thankful for my house. I'm so thankful for my family. Like identifying things that we're thankful for. That is the basic version of gratitude. Using gratitude with perspective to truly change your energy. Remember, what you focus on expands. We have to not only think of the thing that we're focusing on, but we have to experience and feel the energy of what it is that we're focusing on. So when you're saying, I'm so thankful for my car, you have to really get into that energy. I'm so thankful for my car. I love the way I feel when I grip my hands around the wheel. I love the way it makes me feel when I drive it. I love that it always gets me where I need to go. I love that my car is dependable. I love the way I look in it. I love the way it drives. I love the way it pauses. I love the way it goes. I love everything about that car. When I push the pedal, I feel the movement. That is getting into the energy of something. When you're talking about, I'm so thankful for my spouse, dive into that energy. I'm so thankful because my spouse, she'll come up to me and just rub my shoulders when I'm having a hard day. I'm so thankful because she'll say the nice thing when I need it to uplift my day. I'm so thankful because when I hold her, it makes me feel so good. I can just experience now. That is getting into energy. We have to dive into that energy because when you're in it, you'll expand it. And when you realize that no matter what is going on in your current experience, you can feel something outside of your experience, you realize that you are not just the experience. You are more. You are the observer in all cases and the creator in all cases. What you're observing currently when you're locked into self is limited. It might be a good feeling. Maybe everything's going well. Maybe you've just always felt good your whole life. That's great. But if you're struggling, if you're turning into the Positive Mindset Podcast because you're feeling the opposite of that, you need perspective. You need to use gratitude to change your energy. The more often you spend time in positive energy, in love energy, guess what the energy within you is going to feel like. It's going to uplift. It's not about what's going on externally. It's about what's going on internally. But you are a creator. You observe and you create. If you're only looking at self, if you're only looking at the things around you, you are going to have a limited perspective. If you have a limited perspective, you're going to have a limited amount of things to show gratitude for. If you have a limited amount of things to show gratitude for, you're going to have a limited amount of positive energy to bring within your life. So if in your experience, everything has been good, everything has been great, then that's good. You're feeling that good energy. But if you have lived a difficult life, if you have gone through trauma, if people have hurt you, if the world has brought you down, if you've experienced pain, then your immediate circle, the solution does not exist in. You have to raise your perspective and use the gratitude. What you tell the universe is a list of things. But the number one thing, when you start doing that continually, unrelentingly, never giving up, meaning no matter what, you are spending days, you are spending hours, you are spending minutes in frequencies that you desire, you're telling the universe that you control your experience. You have taken back the wheel. And then you feel what you decide to feel no matter what is going on externally. That is the power. In this life, in this experience, there's physical barriers. It takes time to get to things. That protects you from being negative. When you are a negative energy, imagine if there was no barriers. Your energy would suck so fast because the law of attraction is always working. It would suck so fast into energy you don't desire. Why wouldn't you be a being that said, I want to change, I want to level up, I want love in my life, I'm going to go to this earth experience, go through this earth school and bring energy within me so that I can change and be back in love. Why wouldn't that be what you're doing? That's the gift here, is that it takes a little while. The law of attraction is always working. And the speed at which it works is really dependent on you because you are the creator. But that's how you shift. The things that are hurting you, the things that don't serve you can be your superpower. Because once you start healing yourself, once you start mastering the ability to raise your perspective, to use gratitude to change your internal state, the next step is you start giving that. When you start giving that, you get into flow state, meaning you don't just receive the energy, it flows through you abundantly. That is power. Imagine this. Imagine taking a drink. Imagine there's this big river and you take this drink. You're drinking the water. And this is healing water. It's magical. It's powerful. When you drink it, it warms your body. It feels good. It is what your body is meant to receive when you drink it. That's accessing gratitude. You're finding the frequency you want. You're finding that stream. You're putting the cup in it. You're filling it up and you're drinking it. You're charging yourself up. Imagine jumping in to that frequency, jumping in to that endless power of the energy that you desire. That's what happens when you get into flow state. There are steps to this growth, and every step is good. The path that you're on is good. You are where you're supposed to be. You are who you're supposed to be. It's not about changing others. It's not about forcing your ideas onto others. It's about finding that high frequency, healing yourself, and then giving that energy to the world. You'd be surprised how different your perspective changes on everything when you're right within. So much of our viewpoint of the world is based upon the hurt within us. When you're right within, all you see is your opportunities to give love. All you see is where love happens. That doesn't mean you don't see the pain in the world. You just don't get sucked into it. You just don't get sucked, the frequency pulled out of you and stuck in that low energy. You see it and you give it love because you're abundant in it. People wonder, how do you handle energy vampires? How do you handle people that pull you down? In the beginning stages, you might have to have distance. You might have to have boundaries because you're learning, you're growing. But when you connect to that abundance, when you master perspective, when you master gratitude, there's nothing that pulls you down because you're connected to Source, and nothing can stop Source. So let's raise our energy and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful. I hope the message made sense. Again, this took 2 recordings to get right, so I hope it hit home. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. I appreciate all the follows there. It makes it so easy to share information and to keep you up to date with every single episode. If you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. There's also the Positive Mindset Facebook community. There's a link for that as well. There's some lives going on Mondays and Thursdays, and it's been a great learning experience for me for what's to come. So I appreciate everybody that has been a part of that. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.